Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking the World of Warcraft expansions. Dragonflight's about to be over, and I just kind of wanted to rank the expansions. A few disclaimers. One, this is kind of going to be more around PvP based than anything else, so do keep that in mind. I have played every expansion all the way through. I have not taken a break from any of the expansions. I've literally played them all the way through. And I know some people will probably not like where I put some of my choices, but that's fine. If you have your own opinions, feel free to post them in the comment section down below. It'd be interesting to see what people rank their other expansions. And yeah, so I believe that's covered up everything. Let's go ahead and begin. So, first one that is up is Warlords. Warlords is probably my second favorite expansion that I played. I liked Warlords a lot. PvP wise, it was fun. Class wise, design was pretty fun for the most part. I remember playing a bunch of different ones. Like I enjoyed um, Ellie Shaman. Feral was pretty fun. Boomkin, my main, was pretty fun. Just a lot of the other things was fun. World PvP was extremely fun in the jungle. I remember spending a lot of time doing that. Also, I loved the Coliseum in the garrison where you could queue up and fight everybody that's in the free for all zone. It's pretty small and it was kind of abused a little bit in there, but that was one of my favorite things. I loved queuing for that. Also, another fun thing I loved to do was there was this item that was kind of like a nuke that the garrison had, and it pretty much one shot raids. I remember wiping, prepared the 60-man multi-boxer with it, and also wiping out raids in the jungle that were doing the boss. So, also, I do like Ashran. It's not my favorite battleground, but I love doing Ashran back then. It was a lot of fun, especially in the old version of Ashran where you walked in instead of the battleground version. There was an item called Unleashed Mania, which if you won the Coliseum and it was rare, and if you got it from the chest, you could use it in there. And you could do so much freaking huge damage with it. It was actually hilarious. So, pretty much between all of that things, and besides the whole PvP gearing system, which in my opinion, Warlords probably had the best PvP gearing system. Not to mention, you could send Conquest. Well, technically, you can send Conquest Alts and Dragonflight, but you could buy it from the auction house too, from what I remember. So that's the reason why I'm putting Warlords on the first category. This one's not really too surprising. I talk about it on stream all the time. Mists of Pandaria, by far my favorite expansion out of all of them. Enjoyed the class design. Had Timeless Isle, which is the absolute best PvP area in the game for World PvP, in my opinion. I don't think anything else has come close to World PvP for Pandaria. Again, my own opinion. Some people are probably going to disagree with me, and I'm sure it'll probably be classic people because there's a huge split between the player base. They that either hate retail and love classic, and so on and so forth. I know there's people that like both, but that's just from what I've noticed. Anyways, I enjoyed the PvP gearing in Mists of Pandaria, so that's also another plus. A lot of a huge thing for me with PvP is how good the gearing is. So, and I'll explain that more in different expansions. But yeah, so I enjoyed Timeless Isle PvP. Battlegrounds were pretty fun. Class design was pretty fun, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Up next is BFA. I'm kind of debating on whether putting this in the worst expansions by far, but not great, but not the worst. BFA had like one good thing I did like about it, but I think I'm just going to put this in the worst expansions. I don't think BFA was that good, and here's the issues why. And this goes back to the whole Mists of Pandaria thing. PvP gearing matters a lot to me, and unfortunately, BFA gearing relied more on PvE gearing between the broken trinkets, Mythic Plus gearing, and all that stuff. It was not good. I mean, there was some PvP gearing in or not Dragonflight, sorry, BFA, but unfortunately, it didn't compare to the whole Mythic Plus and all that stuff. So, a big reason why I think it's one of the worst expansions is because of that. Now, you're probably wondering what was the one thing I did enjoy about BFA, and that was the World PvP. I think the World PvP was good. It was when they first introduced like War Mode as well, which I know some people don't like War Mode. And now thinking about it, War Mode isn't really too amazing right now. But the PvPing at the invasions and everything. There was like so much world PvP going on all the time. I don't remember there ever being a time in the expansion where world PvP was not going on. In Dragonflight, I barely see world PvP besides like the occasional 5-man group camping with every world buff possible in the game, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, yeah, I think world PvP in BFA was pretty good. It's not my favorite world PvP expansion. Probably maybe like fourth world PvP expansion that I liked. So that's probably why I'm going to put this in the worst expansions category, because there's no redeeming qualities about it about anything else. The only thing I really liked about BFA was the world PvP. I did make some videos on it back then. World PvP wise, it was pretty fun. And yeah, that's why I'm going in the worst category. Alright, now for Dragonflight. There's only about like less than a month left, because I mean, I guess you could consider it more, but pre-patch, I consider pre-patch the next expansion at that point. Some people are saying, I was watching some other people rank expansions, and everybody was putting the Dragonflight in the S tier category, but I'm gonna put it in the good but not favorite category. And the reason why that is because Dragonflight was not a bad expansion. I just don't think it deserves to be in the favorite category, and here's my reasons why. It did have the gearing system, which is why I'm ranking it so high. I would rank it as my favorites, but there's just other things I didn't really like about it. And the reason why that is because I think World PvP kind of sucked this expansion. Like, it just, the amount of the amount of issues it's had this expansion, and I'm a fan of World PvP, has not been that great to me, and that's the reason why I'm putting it one thing lower. Other than that, I've kind of liked everything else, minus just a few things. Like, I really enjoyed Dragonflight Season 1 and 2, but after that, Dragonflight Season 3 and 4, which we're in right now, has kind of gone downhill. And I that's the reason why I'm putting it lower, it's just pretty much for those reasons. Is one, the world PvP has kind of sucked this expansion, and two, uh, Dragonflight Season 1 and 2 were really good, but Dragonflight Season 3 and 4 just didn't feel all that great, in my opinion. So, of course, that's my opinion and why I'm putting it in the good but not my favorite category. So, it's a good expansion, but not high enough to beat Pandaria and Warlords to me, in my opinion. Alright, up next is Cataclysm, and I'm not sure where I want to put this one. I think floating it between the good but not my favorite category. I think I'm going to put this in the good, not my favorite category, just because of future expansions. The reason why I'm putting Cataclysm in the good but not my favorite category is because I feel like that's kind of like the startish of when the good PvP gearing system was happening. Like, I'm minus after the classic era, and when the PvP gearing kind of started to become a little bit better than it was. The first few seasons of not Dragonflight, of Cataclysm was actually pretty good until like when we got to Dragon Soul, when rogues got their legendaries, and Firelands when casters got their legendary, as well as the Dragon Soul, PvE gear and all that. I remember that being pretty strong. So that's the reason why I'm putting it in the good but not my favorite category. Also, I really enjoyed Tolbrad. I spent a good majority of my time doing that. So I love Tolbrad personally, and that made the expansion a lot more fun to me. And that's the reason why I'm putting this in the good but not my favorite category. So, up next is Wrath of the Lich King. I'm going to put this in on the good but not my favorite category as well. I know some people are probably questioning all my choices and where I'm putting them, but I feel like this is just, like I said, it's my opinion. But the reason why I'm putting it in Wrath of the Lich King is I do have some pretty fond memories there. I met someone that I actually really enjoyed talking to there, and also I enjoyed Wintergrass. I hate the Wintergrass in the retail version, ironically, but Wintergrass and Wrath of the Lich King version was pretty fun. I remember camping on top of the orb after the other team won on my Fire Mage and just absolutely living bomb spam everybody and just toying with them and they could never reach me. It was pretty hilarious. So I loved Wintergrass in that mode. Other than that, that's probably about one of the few main things I really enjoyed. I didn't really care much for Strand of the Ancients like almost everybody else doesn't. Although some people are saying they miss it now, but say it now, but people are already hating on Strand of the Ancients, and the forums when I read the classic version, so it's pretty funny. I enjoyed some of the Wrath of Lich King zones, like Sholzar Basin is probably one of my favorite zones in the game. And, yeah. So, that's probably why I'm putting it in the good but not my favorite category. I would actually rank this probably behind Dragonflight and Cataclysm 2, so it kind of works out. So, I know a lot of classic people are probably not going to be happy with my choice, but, that's the thing about opinions. Up next is Burning Crusade. I'm going to put this in the not great but not worst category. I can't really have any. I mean, I don't really have any, like, amazing memories, but not any bad memories of not Legion, sorry, of Burning Crusade. There's just nothing that really stuck out to me, and it was kind of one of those expansions where I just kind of just like played it through. I mean, the only thing I really remember about Burning Crusade having fun with was like Hala, and having some fun with that. Other than that, there was nothing like too. It's kind of like one of those forgettable expansions to me. Other than like maybe having flying again, or not flying again, flying on the expansion. So nothing about with PvP kind of stands out either. Other than like it's kind of like maybe it's just because I know what we have now, but you had to have like PvE gear back then. So you know what I mean. And plus, it was like the Warlords and all that stuff. So that's why I don't really like particularly care too terribly much about Burning Crusade and why I'm ranking it where it is. I don't think it's the worst expansion, obviously, but I just think it's just mid expansion. Up next is Legion, and honestly, I am going to rate this higher than Wrath in my opinion. The reason why that it is because Legion had a lot of stuff I did enjoy. Legion had the third best world PvP for me in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. I made so many world PvP videos. Battlegrounds had templates which made alts playable. I enjoyed having that. Templates are not my favorite thing. I'm just gonna make that abundantly clear now. I would rather have the Mississippi Dagger or Warlords or Dragonflight gearing, which is what we have now, over templates. But minus that, templates are still kind of fun. It's better than having PvE gear like in BFA, in my opinion. So between having all of that, that's the reason why I'm ranking Legion a little bit higher. In fact, actually, I want to rank it higher than Cataclysm. So yeah, good world PvP. Templates made battlegrounds playable for alts, which was, in my opinion, pretty good. And class design wasn't too terribly bad. So that's the reason why I'm ranking Legion higher than some of the other expansions. Up next is Classic. I know a lot of people are going to be upset with my choice here, but I'm just putting Classic in the mid category. I've played it all the way through. I played it once. Classic has been redone a million times by now between so many different eras, and we're now in SOD, which is a little bit different from normal Classic. But even still, I feel like Classic's just one of those expansions where I just kind of like played it once. It was really fun the first time playing it, you know what I mean? But after knowing what we have now, and all the cool stuff we have, like with Transmog and a bunch of other stuff and all that that Classic doesn't have. I just put it in the mid category. Obviously, when I first played it, when I first got this game, Classic was so new and fresh and fun, but I just have one of those expansions where thinking about it now, I can't really think of like any super exciting things like I did with the other expansions, and why I'm ranking it so low. It obviously does not deserve the worst expansion by far, but it just feels like it's mid to me at this point. And I know I'm gonna really upset a lot of Classic people ahead of time, and I'm sorry, but this is just my opinion. But yeah, so up next is Shadowlands. No secret, one of the worst expansions by far. In fact, it's actually worse than BFA. I'm going to switch it with BFA. BFA was actually better than Shadowlands, in my opinion. But Shadowlands is by far the worst expansion ever. I make no secret of that. I talk about it all the time on stream. Shadowlands, by far, worst expansion they've made. Has had nothing that was fun. The PvP gearing system was the absolute worst we've ever had. There was like no world PvP, non-existent, so it was basically just sit in queue simulator and pretty much just do nothing except watch YouTube. That's pretty much what I did, anyways. And class design wise, I mean, I guess it was okay, but I mean, nothing really too excited about. Like the other expansions more. I just can't think of anything that was really good about Shadowlands. We got no new battlegrounds, and I think we got some new arenas, but who cares about that? Um, yeah, I just I can't think of anything that, like, at least with BFA, I thought of something that was that was good about it, but I can't think of anything for Shadowlands. Anyways, that's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you would change, if you would change anything. I imagine, like I said, I'm probably gonna upset a lot of classic players by doing where I put their classic things at, but like I said, it's just my opinion. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys later.